Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Hello, everybody. I am Tanisha, and we're here tonight for Tapped In Talk podcast. And we have a full house tonight, so let me just introduce everybody. We have Erica, Champ, Osaranga, and Anton, who's going by time tonight. So if everybody will just take a second and introduce yourself, say hi to everybody.
You gonna start with me?
Yeah, Erica, right there.
Hey, my name is Erica, aka the Liquor Lady. What am I supposed to be saying other than
Well,
that?
how you doing? Tell them.
I'm great.
Just relax.
You know, it's cancer season.
It's cancer season. My birthday was just today.
Don't give her that.
Shout out to me.
Sister water sign over here. But yeah.
I'm in town. Everybody calls me Time. Today is a pretty cool laid-back day. I'm actually a big fan of the show, and I was excited that I was invited today. Thanks for having me.
Yay.
Well, of course, Osa and Champ is here. Say hey, y'all.
What's up? Hey, y'all.
Peace and love, everybody.
It's Champ. How y'all doing? We're about to have a very interesting conversation.
Right?
Yes.
We got a full house, and we are so
Yes.
ready. So we're going to get right into the topic tonight. We're going to talk about narcissism. Our specific title is Who is the Narcissist? All right. So we know that word is overused and applied so generally to different characteristics of people. But we want to first acknowledge the fact that narcissism, NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, is a scientific term, is an actual diagnosis, is a real mental disorder, right? And I feel like the word has been overused in applying to people, and a lot of times we just throw that label on people when they do something we don't like, oh, you've been a narcissist, you know, like you're so narcissistic, or we don't agree, we throw that word out
If it
there.
don't benefit me, you're a narcissist.
It's still
You're
somewhat,
selfish.
right?
You're self-centered.
So we just want to dive into that and just address the characteristics of narcissism, not really the word, because the word is not properly applied.
Oh,
because
man.
as I spoke, it is a scientific term with a real diagnosis. It is a true mental illness. If you are a true narcissist, you have a mental illness and you need to get help. So for all the other people that's just going around being abusive, or people that is allowing themselves to be abused by other people under the guise that they just a narcissist, we gonna talk about all that tonight. So I'm gonna give it to Champ. Let Champ have some words because I know he does. So let's see your angle. Cause
My man.
we got something for you.
My man.
Narcissism, it applies to a person that's self-centered, under the definition that you're self-centered, you're superior, you feel that you're superior to everybody, everybody's inferior to you. You don't have compassion for other people's feelings, emotions. Everything is about you, this and that, right? So it's a balance of narcissism. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all talk about it's overused, a lot of times when a person says it's overused because their actions doesn't benefit them. You know, like I was reading a book they called 48 Laws of Power, and that actually creates you to be a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? But
Narcissist Bible.
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Because real
nice.
talk, like I stopped reading the book. You know what I'm saying? I did not finish the book because the attributes of that book was going
It
against
teaches
my
you
morals.
how to be
my
manipulative. It's basically
Exactly.
the blueprints of being
Right.
It's
manipulative.
manipulation.
It goes against my morals, my values, my beliefs, my standards, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? But I understand it was trying to put you in a position of power. And to be in a position of power,
And that's
You
what
gotta
narcissists
step on
want.
people. You gotta
right?
get over on
You
people.
can't have empathy
and not care for people.
You can't
know what I'm
care
saying?
for people, whatnot. But we have to have a level that we don't have to care for people in certain instances because those people are narcissists. Going right back to the word, they narcissists and they want to eat off of you. And so if I sit there and show,
Supply. They want you to be their supply, right?
man, what they want you to keep on giving and 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 giving.
But my thing is, you can consider narcissist being anything, or every
Exactly.
last one of us to me.
Yes.
Because like you said, the definition is admiring yourself. Who don't admire themselves?
You should admire yourself because ain't nobody else
I
gonna
mean,
do it.
it's not saying I'm not saying don't have any empathy for anybody. You know the bad part about it, but that's actually a good part.
Yeah.
Being confident in yourself and admiring yourself. If nobody else gonna do it,
You got to do it for yourself.
Exactly.
And when you do it for yourself, you're gonna project that amongst others, and others that is gonna respect that. Like you're not gonna follow nobody that doesn't have confidence in themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll sit there, admire somebody, and granted, will put themselves as a cocky attitude, but somebody will receive it as confidence. And if they receive it as confidence, I'm going to follow that person, and I'm going to give to that person so
Right.
I can receive from that person, because they telling you this is what I can do, this is what I can put out for people, you know. But then at the same time, he's only putting that out for self-beneficial. You know what I'm saying? But what if we all benefit?
And that's
Now,
what,
is he
and
still
that's what I was gonna
narcissist?
say. That's the threshold that you cross when you.
Yeah,
it makes it
that's a good word,
narcissism when it's
threshold.
when you become when you're doing whatever you're doing or being however you are for your own selfish gain. You know what I mean? For some reason, versus you being. I mean, because again, you can be confident in yourself, or you can know that you're good at something. But for you to know that you're good at something, and you are putting other people down. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
less than you.
That's
You know what I
that's
mean?
the
Like it's
statement
nothing
right
wrong.
there,
Yeah, so
putting people
that's
down.
why I don't even like the fact that confidence is included as a component in narcissism. You know what I mean? It's almost like an oxymoron,
Yeah.
contradicting
And it's
itself.
not
You know what I mean?
confidence; it's actually arrogance.
Arrogance. That's
But,
what I was
right.
gonna say.
but the
Like-
Crossing
statement
the line
that you
into
said,
arrogance.
when a person have confidence, but their confidence is built on putting people down,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That's narcissism. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get it
Putting me
confused.
down to pick yourself
Pick
up.
yourself
Yeah.
up. That's narcissism.
Yes.
You know, and if you
needing to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I have a need to do this to feel superior. You know. Also, you want to get in on your definition and what you think narcissism
Well,
is.
I would like to add that dealing with narcissism, I believe that every person has narcissistic characteristics. You know, so it's not just a cookie cutter, viewpoint. But there are people who are so absorbed in themselves and then putting
Delusional.
other people down, where they use the tactic of that master manipulation to be narcissistic.
Or some people have a lack of confidence to the point where they like Champ said, you know, they just see your confidence
That's the
as
root.
arrogance
Threatening.
because they look at you and they see something that they don't have.
That's the
That's-
root
So
that's-
now
of
they're
it.
saying, "Oh, you're arrogant." You know what I mean? And you're a narcissist.
You're a narcissist.
But my confidence, it only shows its cockiness upon your
Your lack,
insecurities.
Yeah.
Your insecurity changes my confidence
Into
into
something
cockiness.
else.
You know what I'm
'Cause
saying?
it's like,
I
So
you
know
that's
think
my
so
he
at the end of the
is.
day, that's an issue that you have, not an issue that I
Right.
have.
I can't
That's-
control
don't-
you how you receive my confidence.
So-
When you sit there and choose to call me I'm cocky, but at the same time, if I'm uplifting you with my confidence, you can't call it cockiness.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're not receiving my uplifting. That's on you.
Right.
If I'm sitting there
that
breathing
is
energy
true.
in you, and you're not accepting it because of your insecurities, if I sit there and
Because
tell
then
you,
people be
yeah,
like, "Oh, he's
Some
fake."
people, you're not
You
telling
know,
them,
he
you're
being
not telling
fake.
them what they want to hear, how
Yeah.
they want to hear it.
So,
Right.
so I have a question. How do you not define a narcissist? What is the definition? Or what are the traits of a narcissist?
Okay.
Depends on the person's
Erica, you want to tap in?
Well, for me personally, I feel that the traits of a narcissist is someone that anytime, because I'm coming out of a very narcissistic relationship, anytime you're on an upswing, right? Everything in regards to what we do should be reciprocated. So anytime I'm on an upswing and you're on a down, you should still be able to pour into me the good, and vice versa. But anytime I'm on an upswing, you can't celebrate my up.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
Drag
bring
me
me
down.
back down to where you
Yeah.
at on your low.
Yeah.
You know, so the people that have the inability to find or celebrate you when you're on your up, but they're on the low. But when they're on the up, they don't have anything to pour into you to bring you where they are. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, like that would be one of the major things or a defining moment for a narcissist in my book. You get what I'm saying? Like again, like I said, I'm coming out of a very narcissistic relationship. I had a situation with my ex. I had got a promotion. He lost his job. Now, mind you, I'm still pouring in him. It's okay, babe.
I got
You gonna
you.
figure it out. We got this together. Da 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 da
Oh,
da.
wow, you think you the shit.
And in the midst of that,
Yep.
you doing this. I ain't got nothing going on. How I'm gonna feed my kids. Da da da.
And
When
you
has that
keep
ever been an
trying to-
issue?
Yeah, right.
But
You
I'm
keep
still
trying to,
pouring. I'm
like,
still
yeah.
pouring. I'm still
It's gonna be
pouring. I'm
okay.
still
Don't
pouring.
worry, pandering.
But nothing ever is reciprocated in regards to my happy moments or those moments to celebrate me. I have to always be mindful of this just happened to me.
So that is a really good point in terms of your question, Anton, and what is a narcissist for me. And I think maybe true definition is a person who thinks that their feelings and their ideas and their wants and their desires are above everybody else. And you know,
Exactly.
period. And it's not even a matter of what nobody else want, nobody else feel. It's
That
all
was my
about
answer.
how I feel, how I perceive, and my, you know, because one of the characteristics of a true narcissism is delusional, right? I mean, narcissism is on a borderline of schizophrenia because they are so delusional in their reality and their ideas and their perspective of themselves. They think so highly of themselves, right? That it borderline schizophrenia. And so, in terms of that, they think that all their feelings are the only one that matter.
Right,
And-
that's
and
narcissist.
That's the true narcissist. And I mean, and the thing about the scientific aspect is these people cannot help themselves. Right?
don't
I mean,
want help.
and I don't like to throw that word on people because it's almost incurable. You might treat it with counseling, but you in lifelong counseling
It's
because
already
you're going to
programmed
always
in their
revert
head.
back to this program that your brain is wired this way. You know, it only sees itself, and it's just inherent within you, and so that it's real. It's real for some people. They don't even want to be that way. They go to counseling because they trying to be more empathetic.
So
They
I'm
trying to be more understanding.
So
They,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
piggyback this question off of that. So, if someone believes in their own delusion, is that narcissist or a mental health problem?
Absolutely.
Oh,
definitely.
it could be
Hold
any
on,
mental health problem.
what is that?
It could be any
Because
number of mental health problems.
What is the delusion?
Just say,
What is the delusion?
I don't know. You know how somebody believe their own lies.
That's exactly
It's
right.
narcissism.
I mean,
Right.
Just
I just had to hear the phrase.
Just, I
When
mean,
you believe
in
your
layman's
own
terms,
lies, yeah.
So
Right.
what you believe in that? You keep egging this on and putting more power into this daily.
Yes.
Is that a mental health problem, or is that a narcissist, or is it both?
But I feel
I think
narcissism
that
is a
those
mental
are-
health problem within itself.
Within
Me
itself.
personally,
Because there's
It
so
is.
many different ways
only-
to look at it. As I could be a
It's only-
narcissist this way, you could be one this way.
to
and so on.
define a mental health problem, that's not, you're able to sit there and take care of yourself. You're not able to progress. You're not able to be productive. So if that narcissist with that same mindset, what you just said, is being productive, is that really a mental
It's
illness?
hard.
And
It's-
then-
yeah,
and then,
right.
right.
And that's what they
And then
say.
it's
It's
one
hard for them
thing-
to consider themselves as narcissists because those are a lot of
Because
times their
in their
leaders.
mind, they're satisfied. They're happy.
Yeah,
they're
that's
excited
why they
about
hard to change.
being superior over people. You know what I'm saying? Making people inferior. So like what we was talking about earlier, when they sit there and say the word narcissism didn't become popular until Trump got in office and everybody used it. But Trump takes an enjoyment of being a narcissist.
And
And
that's
you're
why
not
it's hard
going
to
to tell
treat.
him
I
nothing
totally
different.
agree.
Yeah.
And in his life, he's happy and he's satisfied.
He's
You're
so
not going to be
satisfied.
able to tell him nothing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He has his own bright. That's his lane. That's how he moving. If you don't feel that I want to be associated, he doesn't care. Because he doesn't, as a narcissist, he doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about your emotions.
That's a
But
primary
he's
example.
satisfied and happy.
Thanks.
So
That was
at
a
the end of
great
the day,
answer. I appreciate it.
at the end of the day, when we sit there talking about being satisfied in life, being happy in life, so whatever I'm doing and you don't agree with it, you want to call it a mental health problem because you don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? They're moving and they're not allowing you to affect their lane
Right.
or their goals or what they want to do, and they're happy and satisfied and they'll comfortably die with that. Is that a mental health problem?
Right.
Right.
That's
You know
why
what
I'm asking because,
Yeah.
like they said, the word is being thrown around so much.
And what I was about
Sometimes
to
you
say-
don't know.
A
And
lot
what
of
I'm about to
narcissists
say-
will never
and
get
listen,
treatment.
One thing I'm about to say about that is the reason why it's thrown around so much is because it's one thing to actually be a narcissist and it's another thing to be perceived as a narcissist by
Yeah.
someone who has a
Yeah.
narcissistic mentality.
perception of
Narcissistic.
reality.
You gotta have the mentality, but
point
that's
of
not
view.
the might be
Projecting
you.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody may be seeing your, like again, somebody seeing your confidence as you being a narcissist, but that's their pessimistic, narcissistic how they're looking at it.
Wow, I
Yo,
think you like.
pessimistic.
So
let me
I'm
say
right.
that.
So I'm gonna play devil's
Pessimistic
advocate
is
on
right.
that.
Yeah.
So we just did the whole Trump parallel, right?
Right.
So you can say that about him in his personal life, but how do you feel about him as a businessman?
Well, that's the
Is
problem.
he a
You
narcissist?
have to be a
They think
narcissist to be
Supreme.
successful. He's the
Supreme.
the
As a
author of the
businessman.
48 Laws of Power.
All the billionaires are narcissists because they most of the time they
In their
have to
personal life.
scram
have
their
to
way
be-
through it.
In your
Step on it.
personal
Wait a
life.
minute.
Well, in his
So,
personal
I
life,
don't
he's
think
still
so.
satisfied. If you see Savannah Trump, she sit there so passive, obedient to Trump, and that gives him a rise. You know what I'm saying? So then we have a talk with her, are you happy and satisfied with this man? You riding with this man. So if she's happy, what we perceive their relationship is, we don't got nothing to say about it.
Right.
Because her role is that she's happy, and that's what she feels comfortable in that role. He exploits it. He's happy, this and that. That's a happy union.
Yeah,
We
right.
can't
You
sit there and say
can't
nothing
judge
about
nobody
it.
else's
Right.
union,
Well, I'm
right?
not about
Right.
to have a conversation with her, man. Well, you really know about him.
Yeah,
You
like
know
you
him
with
better
a
than I do.
narcissist.
You live with this
Like, you
man
a
and ride
narcissist.
with this man. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But at the end of the day, he shows production. He shows goals being completed, the whole nine. Like when what's that lady off The View back in the
Whoopi
day?
Goldberg?
No,
Joy Mayer, Joy Bear. Which one?
The comedian
That
that
was
was a
Joy.
butch. No, before her.
Oh,
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rose O'Donnell, right? She made a comment sitting there saying, like, why are y'all over here supporting Trump? And he done filed bankruptcy several times. Donald Trump
he-
never filed bankruptcy. His corporations.
Well,
that's a
you know,
separate
that's that
entity of
he
it.
believe his lies, right? He definitely believe his lies.
Well, no, Donald Trump never filed bankruptcy.
His
His
business.
corporation.
Corporations
did.
It's
did.
his
that's
name.
se-
It's his
that-
business.
No, that's a separate entity.
It is.
It's a
It
separate
is on
entity.
paper, but that's what we're talking about.
The reason why I said that is because he sit there and shows you this failure of businesses, right? But he still has a following that still supports him, that still invested in him to sit there
that
and make
buys
these
in.
millions and billions
Yeah,
of
they
dollars
buy in.
that people come. It's his narcissism that we use loosely. And it's really not
Overly
his
loosely.
narcissism. It's his confidence. It's his charisma. That my confidence, we gonna get this money.
It's his
We gonna
drive.
have failure. When it comes to business, there's risk and failure involved, and he's gonna explain it's risk and failure. But if I can sit there and show you that, I'll make sure your principal get returned. But we taking a risk on the profit. That's
get
confidence.
But you know that's
Can
good.
I have your perspective on it, please?
We talking about Trump. We gotta get off Trump because
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah, 'cause I
too
don't follow
polarizing.
Trump too much. I
But
can't say nothing.
I'm gonna
Also,
say
like,
Trump is that's what he displays. He displays it's all good. I'm straight. It don't matter. But when you hear about him in his private moments, you know, when he lost that election, they say, oh, he looked so despondent. He was so sad. He didn't even know how to respond in his private moments. So he's aware,
Yeah,
right?
right.
What he comes
I
and
agree
sell,
with you.
and that's like narcissists
Yeah.
too, because they all nice
Yeah,
outside, right? They all
exactly.
nice outside.
That's a
But
great-
as soon as they
that's a
ask
great
to
point.
get
That's a
home,
good point.
it's
That's
like,
narcissism.
oh, why you come home? Why you didn't stay longer? Right? It's like, but they all good outside. They the perfect person in you know, out in the streets, and they come home and they hell. That's a narcissist, and I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was the same way, right? And so we can't equate the success, the fact that they have success, to the the fact that they don't have, they're not experiencing
They don't
their
have their
failures or
downtime.
insecurities, because
Yeah,
maybe
they
he's
have insecurity.
a lot of times they
You know his biggest
overcompensate.
insecurity
He
is.
told you the more money, more problems.
You know what Trump's biggest insecurity is? His hair.
Probably,
That shows-
I'm sure.
That shows. When it comes down to his appearance, that's his biggest
He love his
insecurity,
appearance,
right?
don't he?
You know, right.
That could play
Because
a
that's
factor.
what sells.
I know Osa gonna get in, but I want to kind of shift a little bit because I have an idea of narcissism, and I of course we had to do some more research, and we know what it is, but I wanted to find like some new perspectives. And a perspective I discovered was a guy. I'm not even gonna cite the source, but he made his theory or hypothesis that narcissism is a feminine trait, and it stems from women, and it's women who have taught men
And I
to
agree
be
to that.
narcissists.
A lot of times,
And
it's
I
the
agree
mother.
also.
I agree.
agree.
I would agree
It's
with
the
that
mother.
statement.
The
I
mother
agree.
molds
I can't
and
agree with
builds.
I
that.
agree.
You agree with
And
that?
I agree.
No.
I'm a woman, so I know.
mean-
Wait a minute. Let me say why he said this, and then y'all can get in on it, right? So a man has physical ability, right? He knows he can go out, he can work, he can use his
I already see
physical
what
He can
you're going
strength.
with.
facilitate.
I see
You
where
know what
you're
I'm
going
saying?
with
Yeah, he
A
can-
woman
It's an
only has a
emotional
mental
connection
capacity.
to that narcissism.
A woman has mental capacity, emotional capacity, so she has to use that more so than going out. You know, a man is like, I ain't standing out there. I'm about to go out here and get this and do that. A woman got to be, find
Has
out
to be
how.
manipulative.
In
a
I mean,
sense.
not really, but we attribute that. I mean, as cunning. Even the Bible say, call for the cunning woman, right? We are designed to be that way to get things done. Kind of not in secret or behind the scenes, but somewhat, because it's us that's talking to men behind the scenes, building them up or tearing them down to go out into the world. And so they say that, when a man is behaving as a narcissist, he's actually acting like a bitch. essentially, in displaying female characteristics because he thinks that his feelings are, we expect the man not to have feelings. So, of course, before now, it's always been about the woman's feelings.
Taking one thing, she threw me all the way left
See,
field with that
it's
one.
always
Like,
been
let me
about
go
our
ahead.
feelings first, right? Like,
Let me go
oh,
change
I
my
feel this way, and now he gotta,
perspective.
he want me, he gotta do X, Y, and Z. That's narcissist as hell, right? I mean, in women, I'm not gonna blame it on society.
It's
I'm
a
not gonna
ping
blame it on
pong
raising. We
thing.
are wired this way that we have to be nurturers. We have to build up. We have to nurture the kids. You have to trick your kids sometimes. Like you can't tell them everything all the time. Mom, what's that? You gaslight your kid. Oh, that ain't nothing. X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. You didn't gaslit the kid and told them they didn't see what they really saw. Oh, that wasn't this, that was that.
Right.
You didn't practice gaslighting right there.
Right.
You didn't, and taught the next person to do it because they know they just saw they know they just saw you do what you
making
did.
a lot of sense, but some of it I don't agree with.
Yeah.
though. Like,
So-
I don't think that your mom raised this grown, strong ass man to be a narcissist or
It wasn't
abusive.
I mean,
intentional.
it was-
She didn't say-
it
she
wasn't
didn't
just
say
mirrored.
it
You just
she
mirrored.
purposely groomed him to be that way.
It wasn't
But those
intentional.
tendencies come from the women. You know what I'm saying?
know why?
But that's engraved in it. That's just like
That's
in
why
the
we-
way of
that's-
being raised.
you know
It's
why?
If
like-
you don't
So,
have a male,
but
it's
imagine-
not-
if you don't have
having.
a-
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I can think about to say the same thing. Like if you don't have a dad in the house to balance out, you know what I mean, that everything that he see in the woman, he's gonna pattern himself after that and do things that he see her doing and act like, you know what I mean, solve
And that's what
problems
makes
like he
that
sees his
boy
mama
a
doing.
Then
nar- a
he's gonna
narcissist.
And then his mom is going to inadvertently teach him how to do that. I said, see, so this is how you do that, or tell
So
him.
when you
or
add-
when she's telling him this is why I did that, she's inadvertently teaching him how to do it.
Right.
So when you add a woman's trait into a man, that makes him a narcissist.
No, it's him being raised that way by the mother.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then
He
going
gets the
out,
attributes
but
of
no,
a
but then
woman.
going out into the world and then now trying to be a man. So now you put on a facade. You put on this mask, and now on top of what has already been engraved within you, your makeup, like how your patterns are, your personality. Now you have to overly be this man. So then it becomes like a manipulation tool. You're detached from yourself.
And then
This
you're
is-
off
detached
this
from
is-
yourself.
this is-
You
this
detach
is-
from
you see
yourself.
how
This
she
is
just-
my point.
No, I'm about to say, you see how she said that, the men go out in the world and they get things done physically, they're mad, you know what I mean? So if a boy is trained up to be manipulative and do things
Oh, I'm about
make
to
it-
call so and so. He get
Yes.
used to. Oh, I gotta call so and so for help. They don't get that self reliance. They get to learn
Yeah,
how to
Right.
use people.
I mean, well, that is this technique and method of getting something done. But my point was when they sit there and say a woman is narcissistic, why I don't believe a woman is narcissistic, because y'all characteristics of being nurturing, caring, you know what I'm saying?
so you're saying because we have empathy, but we're not narcissistic.
and nurturing, you can't be.
I can see that
You can't be.
being a good point.
But you can
You
use
can't
that
be.
empathy to be
You use
manipulative.
it to manipulate.
manipulation.
right?
But at
So
the
they
end
deal
of
like
the
with that
day,
toxic
Uh-huh.
femininity.
at the end of the day,
That's that toxic
So
femininity.
what about
at the end of the day, if they do that, they lose self.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then when the full circles come back around,
We deal with them
I don't know
back
because
the
I
thing
know
about
so
it is
many
that-
women
so
to
we're
this
not
day. I
making-
know so many narcissist women to this day. They don't have shit, but they so entitled. They don't hardly
Yeah,
even
that's
have
a
a
whole
place
nother
to stay.
program in their
That's
head, yeah.
that might be like the
They taking
bottom
traditional
levels.
values.
It's levels to it, but nevertheless, it's too many women. That's where that entitled woman come in at. I'm a bad bitch. All this,
I ain't got
all
shit.
this
I
where we
mean,
at today. And they entitled to the
Make
best
yourself
man,
look- to
the
look like
man with the
something.
best
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and they don't
Nothing
have
about it.
nothing.
that's
Shambles.
perpetrating a fraud.
So again, I want
They
to
gotta
highlight.
they gotta use narcissism and manipulation. Make him tear him down. Make him think he ain't nothing,
Well,
and
the-
she all that.
Yeah, true woman can't be narcissistic.
So
I
like,
don't believe that.
I see.
So we're saying that, right? What we're saying about these characteristics are not blanket statements that apply to all
Oh,
women by a long
absolutely.
shot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So that's
saying
like what
it's
we're speaking of are the
stems
ones
from feminine.
the ones whose this shoe does fit.
It's a feminine energy, yes.
But when you talk about men, because men build, they create, and they facilitate, those the ones that become narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? Those have a false sense of entitlement because I did this, I created this, and I'm obligated for a woman to do this and do this and
Well,
do
you
that.
know-
That's narcissism.
Yeah, now that's on the man's
now
side.
where a
But
woman,
it might
is-
not be though, because because a lot of times what men are operating out of and they think is narcissism is straight up trauma. unresolved issues. And so they projecting, they accusing, they doing all kind of stuff, they putting you down so they can feel better about themselves because they had a bad day at work, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not. A lot of times men are not suffering from narcissism. They actually suffer from trauma and trying to get their need, because narcissism is a healthy narcissism is self-preservation.
Right.
So of course they trying to get their needs met, whatever those may be, and they gonna do whatever they have to do, and they gonna try to manipulate.
Men are taught to set aside their emotions.
Men
are taught
absolutely.
to set aside their feelings. And whereas now I got displaced emotions.
That's trauma.
And I let it out, and that's trauma. I let it out on this person. I let it out on this person. And that's trauma. Not so much narcissism. That's
survival.
Now we can sit there and talk about mental disability. You know what I'm saying? Now we can talk about mental issues, because now you do not know how to manage your emotions. You don't know how to manage your feelings, because what's called is emotional intelligence. When you know how to identify your emotions and how to react to it, that's emotional intelligence.
Yes, it is. That's a whole nother level of intelligence. That's the third intelligence, right?
And granted, I'll be honest, women know how to do it better than men. Because how we are trained to ignore them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are trained to know how to process that. You know what I'm saying? To facilitate a home, because I got to deal with these kids. I got to deal with this man coming home, this and that. Y'all to be the facilitators of the home. Like, I got to manage all these emotions and personalities and this and that.
Without showing it.
Without self. You know what I'm saying? I have to be unselfish, because all my emotions and all that going on, and y'all are trained to let it out. But y'all let it out in doses. You know what I'm saying? But we are taught not to let it out at all, because that first dose, nigga, you acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, where you learn that from? Man, I was taught don't even let that shit out. As soon as a man let it out, you be on social media. As soon as a man let out one emotion, damn, nigga, you acting like a little bitch. Like, nigga, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, like, I can't just express myself, because at the end of the day, women don't know. A man doesn't have
about shit too, like what?
And don't have nowhere to vent. You know where men vent? You know where they? You know where they vent to this cup. This is where they vent to. We vent to this cup. We vent to James.
And see, I wouldn't minimize that to all women. I think that those women are just simply reflections of that trauma as well.
Exactly.
Not all women feel that way. Exactly. Not all women, judge a man that's emotional.
You have resilient women that, you know what I'm saying, takes the time to learn the man and how can I be the helpmate. You know what I'm saying? How can we
have a toxic side of the arena where it only reflects and magnifies the trauma back and forth between each other. We only ping pong it back and snowball it
playing
bigger
a blame
back.
game kind of thing, tit for tat. You getting that tit for tat. I'm gonna use you using your trauma. I'm gonna use now. I'm traumatized and I'm gonna retaliate. Go back and forth.
What about y'all when y'all do this? And
that's the battle of the sexes right now, right? That's where we are with this male-female thing.
We never get anything resolved. Whatever the core original question or situation or issue was, never get resolved, because it always get going snowball back and forth about some shit that happened last week and 2 weeks before that, and what about that, and like it never get resolved.
But that's a whole separate issue. That's being able to being held accountable for your own bull crap.
And see, I think that most narcissists, they don't hold space for that to happen. They don't like accountability. Right. They run from accountability. That's part of the
narcissism. They're gonna say, well, when you did this, and
they're
always gonna deflect. Always gonna deflect.
Always.
They're gonna leave
then lack empathy for it. So like they don't have any type of empathy or compassion for what you feel, and it's always about how they feel or what they going through. It's always a me thing.
Your feelings is based upon your ego. You ain't looking at my feelings and all that, this and that. That's what narcissists say.
And then outside of the issue, they don't even like when you focus on them doing with the narcissist shit. Like whatever the issue is, like we're not even talking about the issue no more. We're talking about the fact that you can't even focus on what we're talking about. You want to deflect, and you don't even want to hear that.
Right.
So you want to deflect again.
Oh, that's such a headache.
So how do you address that? How do you try to fix that? Say it's somebody
Sometimes
you love and care for.
I feel like man,
so
a lot of
times, what do you do to yourself? What do you do?
Shadow work.
And just say
that
somebody is narcissist, but you love and you care about.
Right.
I mean, healing is the core. They have to heal, but they have to be willing to do that work. A lot of times they aren't.
But you're saying, how do you get there for them to do that work?
Right,
what
that's
he's
what I'm
saying.
saying. I'm basically.
Sometimes it's
I'm
not
asking.
possible. Sometimes it's the fact.
Right.
The
You have to
reality is, I think
hate it,
for them to be able to move forward in their own personal healing and understanding, they have to have enough people willing to walk away from them.
Ooh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But again, they're able to pay the situation and be so smooth with it that they constantly have you in the space, the non-narcissistic individual in the situation. I feel bad for them. I gotta walk them out. I gotta walk them out. I know that they can be this, but they stuck on this. If I keep giving and I keep pouring and I keep, but then the smallest minute thing comes in and it's a blow up. And then it's your fault. It's your fault.
Not to blame.
It's your fault.
Well, yep.
So now we back at square one.
See, but those situations like that, see, like you said, you walk away instantly. There's nothing you can do about that.
But what they do is the next time, okay, I walk away from the situation. He got 5 other ones that's willing to come in and play that same role that I've been playing.
Replay that
So
whole
they're
script.
current.
Replay the whole. The game don't change. The players
exactly. So until everybody is burnt out, like, no, it's not me. It's genuinely you. So until they're in that space that nobody has their back anymore, and their back is fully up against the wall, and you can't play on nobody else to be your fall guy, and you not being held accountable for what you've been on.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be. They're not gonna be able to move forward. They're gonna be stuck in that same cycle. Like you said, the players are just gonna constantly change.
They need that isolation in order to self-reflect.
Yeah.
You know, and with that self-reflection comes growth. So, like, if you can't sit by yourself, and a lot of times narcissists need to feed off of other people to feel whole, or to feel seen, or to, you know, be
Feel
praised.
relevant, yeah.
You know, they need
not the
praise.
validation. They need that validation.
Need praise. You know, so like
They
if
need to be gaslighted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they need to be gaslighted. Even if narcissists, they know
Even
they
if
being
it's a lie.
gaslighted, and they
But
still
they
accept
appreciate it, don't they? I mean,
yeah, I know you lying, but shit, that shit
It
feel
sound
good. Keep
good.
on telling me. Keep on telling me. You know, so.
So one thing I want to highlight, we all know that, you know, healing is like the basis for, well, trauma is the basis for narcissists, but also manipulation. Mushrooms could definitely help. But manipulation to me is like that core factor. Like everything about a narcissist is all about manipulating somebody.
Everything, anything.
So, one of the characteristics or like common traits for a narcissist is love bombing.
What that mean?
So I've experienced love bombing myself.
What that mean?
I have to.
It's when someone comes in and just like over loves you, over try to, you know, be there and do everything, just love, like pouring love constantly. From the jump though, like they just come in trying to be the end all be all for you.
Prince Charming.
But then as time,
means they got an agenda while they doing
they have an
Yeah,
agenda.
they
Because as
It
time go
stops.
on, that mask start to fall.
It stops.
And I experienced that with my ex, you know. So
Yeah.
they come in like trying to, like my ex came in when my grandmother passed, called me in a very vulnerable moment. Came in, took
That's
over,
how I
tried to
just
pay
got.
all the bills,
Exactly
like
how I just
making
got.
sure I'm good, you know.
Loss of a loved one
Wanted
is
to
a
get
doozy.
married, wanted to have a child with me, all
I
this,
lost
like
4 people. This bitch came in. Yeah.
But then as you continue to start moving on,
And
it's
you
like
grow.
you grow. You see that person staying the same, so now they're intimidated by you.
Now they're
So
mad.
I
They're
heard, well, I don't care about all your books, and I don't care about what your spirits tell you. Like all of this shit. So I'm like, well, okay, so you disrespecting my character. You feel like I got more knowledge than you, is what you just told me. You know what I'm saying? You feel like I'm more tapped in spiritually. So that's making you feel some type of way. So now you got to try to put me down to make yourself feel relevant.
And project, right?
And project.
Project.
You
That
know?
projection is
But
a
at
must.
first, it was just we going to go through the whole, now we going through it and like being there. And eventually, you know, that mask, that facade will fall.
It's like when you get into friendships.
Oh, don't talk about the
relationship,
friendships.
Baby.
They there too.
Narcissist ass women out here.
It's like
Yes.
it's like a job interview.
Man.
Like I walk in this to impress you, to impress you, to impress you. How long does that impression, trying to impress a person, last? Whereas now that mask start coming off. It just came off half off. Now you got a masquerade mask.
Looking like the
It's
Joker.
half off. What is you doing? What are you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Right now, I'm seeing a whole different version of you. You know, so now it's like, oh, we friends. You accepted me from the beginning. No, I accepted that first version of you versus this version of you. Now you want to force upon me to accept this other version of that you didn't present it to me from the start. You know what I'm saying? I sit there and told you I was like this and that. Okay, granted, yeah, you might have told me, but now I'm actually seeing the action
Right.
So now I'm seeing the action. Whoa, hold up, swole up. Like, look, I ain't signed up for this.
All right, and that was the
You know,
delusion
you talked
that
about
they
it,
presented.
You told me the small version of it versus what I'm seeing now is the large version of it. It's like,
Or
no, it's
better yet, in the beginning you were hiding it, and now you're not.
man.
Right now you comfortable.
Yeah.
You think it's time. You think I'm.
feel
You
like,
think
"Woo,
I'm locked in.
I got you
I'm
all
coming
in
out the
check."
closet now. I'm coming out the closet now, like.
And that happens all. I had a guy tell me one time, "You're not addicted to me yet."
Why would I be? Why should I be?
Because I was just like, "Excuse me."
It's like,
Like he was tired of playing that role. He was like, "You're not finished yet. You're not there yet." Like, no, and not only that, but one of the reasons why I think that the feminism of narcissist behavior is because of the friendships and friends and lady friends that we all know and see. I mean, it's difficult when you meet a friend girl. They the same way. They don't show you their best parts. They act like they want what you want. They own what you own. Just like a narcissist man.
Scary.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you like that? I like that too. Oh, you going here? I'm going. You want me? All that kind of stuff. They act like they just right there with you. And then as soon as they will try to use you like they use men.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, for whatever they can use you for, and I've seen that
from my experience,
a lot of ways.
when the women be like, "Yeah, I'm a bitch," you know what I'm saying? But you sit there and say that, but then you want to show this caring, cool person. But you already told me I'm a bitch.
Thing.
But you never sit there seeing the bitch in them until the situation happens.
And then it's like, I told you.
I told you.
I told you.
Believe what people say.
You sit there tell.
They tell you who they are.
When it comes to the fellas, right? When it comes to the fellas, right? We are logical thinkers. You know what I'm saying? It's like a nigga come around us, be like, "Yeah, nigga, I'm a snake ass, grimy ass nigga." No, we ain't playing no games with you. You tell me you a snake ass, grimy ass
like,
nigga.
You think
Look,
so?
Then you don't even get no chances
at all.
Zero.
At all.
None.
The females, when I sit there and see my perception of it, female will sit there and talk about their attributes, will play another role, and y'all will still accept them. Man, you tell me you a grimy ass nigga, too. I'm going to... You a grimy ass nigga, get the fuck on. And granted, but if you want to sit there
this
and
the
try
last time we'll fuck around.
They can tell you they grimy. Like, I done fell out all my other friends, but you my new friend. Like, okay.
No.
We friends.
But y'all still hang with them. Still give them a chance.
Yeah.
Still kick it, still hang out.
Yeah,
but
right.
That's the red flag right there, letting you know. But y'all still
move forward.
Still do it anyway.
It's like the fellas we be around, right? Collectively we be around. It's 5, 6 of us. You hear this one nigga sitting there talking about like, yeah, I just backdoored my homeboy, baby mama, the whole 9.
Oh, that bitch wanted
my
me.
zone, right? So cognitively, what I'm gonna think, when am I next? If you just sit there and say this your man, this your homeboy, you backdooring this nigga.
That's
I'm no
bitch
different
ass.
than that nigga.
So you don't have
It's
no
gonna come
code,
around,
right?
That's like
We
female
hustling.
behavior.
Yeah, I just finessed this nigga out of such and such and that on this
women
play.
do that.
But now
Yeah,
you want
but
to
is it
sit
more
there
common for
and
women
put a
or
play
men?
down for us to get money.
I think it's definitely more common
I
for
still
women.
remember when you sit there and
It
talked
may be
about
common
putting
for
this
men,
play
they
and
just don't
finesse
talk
this
about
nigga.
it.
It's already in my mind, so I'm collectively looking at nigga when it's gonna be my turn for you gonna sit there and try to finesse me, because you might not get the same consequences from that nigga that you gonna get from me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm already
and so
on
clearly,
alert.
when you sit there and say that, I'm gonna sit there and tell you indirectly, these are the consequences when niggas try to finesse me.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
setting boundaries, right, and that's
Right, I'm
another
setting
issue
boundaries, like
with dealing with people who have narcissist tendencies or traits.
gonna
I'm
get
gonna
boundaries.
stop calling people narcissists because they're not
Yeah, I don't
diagnosed.
like that
As far as
term.
I'm concerned, they playing crazy, and that ain't my problem. Like I'm gonna
That's
treat
at
you,
all.
I'm gonna treat
At
you
all.
accordingly. You playing crazy at this point. Ain't nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You got trauma. You need healing, and it's no more.
need help, and I ain't got it.
this issue. No, you have to be accountable for yourself. If you need to, if you operating out of that kind of energy, then you need to do some shadow work. And shadow work is real. You have to go within yourself. A lot of times, and I'm not even gonna put it on men, because like we talking about that being a
both sides.
feminine energy, right? I see women who have a lot of trauma, like they were raped when they were young and all this kind of stuff, and they don't deal with it. And their mama was this, they didn't get along with their mama, and they don't deal with it, and they go out in the world and so entitled when they meet a man. Like a man is supposed to make up for all the stuff they done been through in their whole life.
Right.
Everybody treat him wrong. They put all that on that man to make them, feel better, do everything their whole life. And and that's good and bad. You meet some women that get with a man and put their life into a man, it's all about him, or he be home, I gotta cook his dinner. But then you got some women that's just doing it because I need something from him. Yeah. I'm pouring into him so he can pour, he pour into me. So I'm just and that's what we was talking about when Osa said, do women do that too? Women do it more than men come bragging about the stuff they done did. Oh, and you say women got feelings not all the time.
Well, I don't be in
because the woman
circle,
will be like, right, because the women will be like, I did this, I went in his pocket, I did this, I set him up. Women can be scandalous. And they don't care. If that's what they doing, that's their lifestyle, they doing that, and they narcissists.
Women be setting niggas up.
That made me think about that Lil Wayne song, Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
But you know what
what?
The best song, the one best song that talk about narcissism, Michael Jackson got it.
Dirty Diana?
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Mm.
That's
Right.
a whole narcissistic song to tell people about themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? For Michael, for you to sit there and have that cognitive ass thinking to tell the whole world, like a lot of y'all are narcissistic. And y'all view the world as narcissistic.
That's my
like,
shadow work song.
if you read, if you listen to the words of that song and apply it to yourself, that shit heavy. And that's like you said, that's a shadow working song.
It's about just inner healing.
But he talks about so many levels of people, politics, government, all the way down to
yourself.
Average Joe people. That song applied to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to that song, you'll feel some type of energy, a vibe in you. Now, if you accept it, that's on you. If you don't accept it, that's still on you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't accept it, what that mean? You're a narcissist.
Maybe.
Maybe. And that's why I wanted to bring that idea that narcissism is a feminine trait, because a lot of times us women, we get into healing and shadow work, but we don't tap into that. We don't tap into our narcissism and our narcissist ways and how we project narcissism onto society as a whole, right? And so and then that's how we can identify in men so much, and it's still self-preservation. Women have to run the house and they got to get things done. Sometimes they only got a little bit of money. They still got to get something fixed, the grass cut, all this kind of stuff. And, they only got this much money left. They got to kind of work it for the benefit of everybody.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference, for the benefit of everybody.
That's
I got to get this
I can't
done.
call a woman narcissistic.
And it's not narcissistic. We're talking about the attributes and some of the characteristics. We're talking about a well-balanced what these characteristics in a balanced way. Now, some women, it can be skewed out, and then when men get a hold to it, and they have trauma, and they get to manipulating women or they mother, they baby mama, they kids, because men, they got it bad with their daughters. We can even talk about that. They got it bad with their daughters. They will manipulate their daughters to an extreme, right?
Men would manipulate their
just
daughters.
Just a lack of respect for women in general, or sometimes even jealousy, which is
what
another
talking about men and their daughters.
Yeah.
I mean, all I have is a daughter.
That's all I got is
and
a
I'm
daughter
sitting over
too.
here just like, that doesn't even apply. Like, you know what I'm saying? I breathe
But some men
life.
do. I mean, it's not bad. It's not it's bad, but it's not, because these women idolize their dads.
Okay.
Right, and the dad live on that. They live on that idolization from their daughter. That's their whole life.
Perfect
example.
Real, Beyonce and her father.
You still
Imagine
gotta,
right?
You still gotta
and
go
this man,
through
this
it.
man was truly, I mean, making money on her
can't
and
just
sold her
be-
to another man, essentially.
You can't
So,
just be an
come on.
idol to your daughter unless you're doing the things that matter.
But
you can't just
if
be.
you're not,
I'm
that's
a-
all she know too. It's kind of by default.
Well, I feel that it's the father's job to treat the daughter how a man should be treated, right? But it's a whole nother level where you set this bar and this understanding that ain't no man ever gonna do for you like I did. You get what I'm saying? And you're creating a place that
She
she's
can't even get a man.
She's never gonna be able to get a man. Exactly.
They never
Oh,
can
my
get a
daddy
man.
don't do it like that. My
Never
daddy
get a
would
man.
never. Da, 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 da. So you're
That's
creating this
narcissism.
that they create narcissist women. That's
But
exactly
see,
my point.
When I talk to my daughter, your husband is supposed to do more than what I do for you. because it's gonna become a point in time that I'm gonna be gone. So he needs to sit there and set that bar that regardless of daddy or not, I got you. Because, you know, if you're a Christian, you go back to the Bible, you divorce your parents. So with that belief, and with me, it's like you with your husband, and my daughter's married with your husband, y'all divorcing for me. Like, you better do what I do and more. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all got a lot more years to be together. There's going to be a point in time I'm going to be gone. You know, so if me as a father, I'm going to sit there and teach my daughter. It's like, look, I always got your back. As long as I'm breathing air and I'm on this earth, I got your back. But at the same time, I'm the release valve. I'm not the valve. He's the valve. He's the control
I'm so glad
valve.
he's going over saying all that, champ. I'm so glad you put that in perspective.
So now, when you all together, and granted, if he can't do it, I'm not going to judge him why he can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help y'all collectively. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to breathe life in him. It's like, you know, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to sit there and tell you. Like, I got the trials and tribulations just like you, what you going through. You know what I'm saying? But it came down from generations. Like, my old man, okay, I'm in a relationship. I got, he ain't going to ask me what I'm doing. You a man, you doing this and that. So at the same time, I'm going to help. But I'm going to help you to sit there and continue on. It's not no Band-Aid on your problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I'm going to help you resolve, get the resolve, the issue resolved.
Let me tell you what I done been through and how to sit there and overcome what you're going through. I'm going to come here and help you. You know what I'm saying? What we already do collectively. You know what I'm saying? Or versus like, you know, my daughter, you with your husband, and his father come in and sit there and say something. He's helping that young man to facilitate his family. You know what I'm saying? If you come to me, I'm helping you to facilitate your family.
Right. But the narcissistic father would say, that's why you shouldn't have married him. You need to come on home. He not gonna fight for them to figure it out, to be adults on their own, to do their own thing. Just pack your bags and come on home, baby girl.
Because if you love your daughter, and your daughter love that man, you know what I'm saying? You help that daughter love that man and be his helpmate. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to talk to him differently than I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting there talking to you as a son-in-law. I'm not sitting there talking to you as a son. I'm sitting there talking to you as a man. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? And if you need any help or tools with it, I'm here to sit there and help you as a man. You know? So don't sit there and think that, oh, you with my daughter, that this is just going, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it, and I'm going to be the fallback guy. It ain't going to happen like that, cuz. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give you the tools that you ain't got to come back and ask me nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? And when she sit there and see that, she going to appreciate you even more. You know what I'm saying? And I can add a little bit more because that's my daughter, and that's how I taught her. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to you, like, I know her because she got my personality, my attributes, even though she's a girl. So I could think before her, I could tell you what she's going to do before she does it.
I'm so glad you made those points. Those are really, really good points that needed to be pointed out. And we're not even going to get into the narcissist mother-in-law.
That part.
That's deep.
That part.
Like, that's deep. Like,
You need about a 5-hour show for that. You ain't going to be able to do that.
Let me tell you something. That's on both sides. That's on the woman's side and the man's side. And them mothers, them narcissist mamas is something else, right?
Absolutely.
When it comes to your relationships or, you know, the male and female relationships. So, do we have any closing ideas or theories we want to bring to the table before we wrap up?
I got one. I want to piggyback or touch on what you said in regards to that childhood trauma and this and that, and not continuously feeding into the narcissistic traits or the cycles. A lot of people don't understand that trauma and those things that you've been through, those I'm not apologizing and this and that forgiveness or those apologies aren't necessarily for that person that caused that trauma on you to move forward in life, but it's for you. It's deeply for you, because it's certain things that I've been through in life that I'm never going to get apologies for, but I had to sit there and say, I forgive you.
I'm moving on.
I forgive you. I release it. I forgive you. I'm moving on. So again, that's for you to have that deeper understanding, that peace for you, that you're not constantly fighting the people.
Do you forgive them or do you give them a pass?
No, you have to let it go and forgive them. It's not about giving them a pass. If I'm giving them a pass, that means I'm going to allow a person to do that same thing to me again.
No, I'm not saying like that. Is that you did wrong, and okay,
We talking about
They said
forgiving,
they're
not giving.
forgiving.
We talking about forgiving.
it's like, okay, I forgive and I'm gonna build a better relationship with you.
No.
No, we're
Just
not
because
talking about that.
I've forgiven you in this situation,
Don't mean
I
I
don't
forget.
I don't
That's her
forget.
situation.
She's just letting the
saying-
situation go.
I'm letting the situation
yeah,
go
listen,
so that
I'm
I
not
can
gonna
move
allow
forward
you
instead of
Right.
back
festering
close
on
to me to stab
Exactly.
me again.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
right.
Say
Now,
it
I'm
again,
just
Mark.
letting
I'm
the
not gonna allow you
situation
back.
go.
I'm not gonna allow you back close to me again
Right.
to stab me again. Like,
Right.
Right,
And
that's,
this is
yeah,
a-
you said it
yeah.
better than what I said. Yeah.
This is such a when you talk about forgiveness, this is such a big conversation
next
in the
topic.
church,
That should
right?
be a topic.
topic.
Yeah, because it's so difficult. Because the Bible do say how many times you
Say the
forgive
levels
your
of
brother.
forgiveness. So
The
in the
Bible
next
said
episode,
what,
of
77
the-
Seven
Yeah.
times
70,
70.
something
7
like
times
that.
70. You're supposed to forgive your brother, right? For trespasses.
That's a
I
hard
mean,
subject.
That's a hard subject.
I had the
Forgiveness.
toughest with forgiveness. I ain't even gonna lie.
We gonna talk about it. We
You
gonna
hear me?
definitely talk
You
about
must
it.
hear me. That's a hard
the
subject.
terms
Yeah.
and conditions of forgiveness.
Yeah, 'cause that's a hard
Because
subject.
And they do-
I don't
they
never
do
believe
meet.
that I forgive a person. I just give you a
Because
pass
look,
to exist around
Like,
you.
look, let me give you a small little example. Everybody seen the guy hit the lady, right? And then the repercussions of that stuff. Now, that's too much of a different conversation, but how do you feel about that? First of all,
We
you
ain't
know
got
what I'm saying?
enough time to
Somebody,
go. We ain't got
my
enough time.
goodness.
So many
That's a
opinions.
whole
But you-
nother-
but
that's a
you-
whole
but
nother
you-
That
but
was a
you
lot.
get
That
what
was a
I'm-
whole lot of narcissism
but
going
do you
on
get
in
what
that,
I'm
that
saying,
video.
though?
That was a
But
whole
you
lot of
get what I'm
narcissism
saying?
going on.
Right.
That's
Do-
the
do-
primary
do
example
the
of
family
two people,
forgive that
two
young boy?
narcissists.
Right.
Do
Do
the
the
family
family forget that young boy,
boy?
or do they just live on or hold it
They
in
better
like
push
Erica
on.
said?
They better push on.
Man,
They better push
No, I mean,
on.
and I
that's
think
hard
that,
to forgive. That's
that's
why
a-
I was giving y'all an example of both
Yeah.
ways.
Well,
9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna forgive. They gonna give it a pass and move on. They not
Yeah.
gonna forgive.
and that creates trauma because you do have to release that energy, right? It has to be a non-factor for you, and so yeah, we've had a really good discussion. Of course, we
Yeah.
could talk more. We've enjoyed all the points from everybody. Thank you, Anton. Thank you, Erica, for joining us
Thank
tonight
y'all
for
so
the
much for
discussion.
inviting me.
And
It was dope.
I learned a lot.
yeah,
Y'all gave me
As
different
always on this show.
perspectives and point of views on stuff.
absolutely. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Tell your friends, everybody, watch on Thursday night, 7 o'clock on 7 Mile Radio, YouTube, and Facebook Live. And that's it for us this week. Good night and good day. Bye.
Good night.
Warning. You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7